everybody, it's Natalie here with Sacred Mountain Yoga. I'm at the BlissOm studio gearing up for our Steel Mace Vinyasa level 1 certification happening here October 2nd to 4th, 2026. So one of the things people come to me the most with is, how the heck do I fix my shoulders? Okay, so a lot of the midlife adults that I see, a lot of my private coaching clients, even the people that are coming here for my yoga classes are complaining of the same things. My shoulders are getting stiffer, less mobile, and weaker, and I'm prone to neck tension. I hear you. So as somebody who has healed their upper back and shoulders and corrected their posture, I'm going to show you my favorite go-to exercises with my Steel Mace that help me correct that. Now, I will preface it to say is that we have specific warm-ups that I would do depending. What I typically do with my clients as they're coming in is called a functional movement screen, where I'll assess their whole body movement and then give them specific priming drills and conditioning drills in order to work through that pattern and gain the mobility back. But these are typically my go-tos, all right, for anybody 35 and up who's suffering with this. All right, first time you're gonna select your mace. Not too heavy, so this is a 10, not too light. You need some resistance without aggravating your body. So for me, I'm gonna select my 7. Okay, so the first movement I want you to experiment with, and if you're at home trying this, you can use a wooden dowel as well. You don't have to jump into load. You can start to get the movement pattern here. But we're gonna look at something called mace switches. These exercises are foundational for your shoulder, your rotational health, okay, and your posture, okay? If you do these correctly, you're gonna be walking straighter and feeling lighter in your body naturally, okay? So I'm gonna do it without load so we can see what this looks like. What I want you to do is start with your toes in the same line as your heels. So we call this mountain pose. So if you look down and your feet V out or they point too close together, then we want to straighten them out. So toes in the same line as your heels, and then we're going to add torque. I want you to tear apart the mat beneath your feet, tighten your glutes, your core, and your lat muscles down, okay? And then once you have that tight in your body, radiate the top of the head up. I want you to grab your mace in a spine intelligent way, flip it up, bring it to the center, all right? So you have the heavy part at the top, which is your circular ball called your globe. You have your handle or your shaft, and then we have somewhere about 1/3 of the way down called the mid grip. All right, so I want you to find mid grip and then ring out your mace. This is called prayer position. It's gonna stay lined up with your spine. So I'm gonna move so you can see right in the center of my body, okay? So I want it here, my shoulders down. I'm gonna keep kind of switching the position so you can see the posture. What we don't want to have happen when we grab our mace is that our wrists are high up, we're shrugged up here, and we're lackadaisy in the spine. So if I start adding torque by tearing apart the imaginary mat, pull the shoulders down, and ring out my mace, my posture is going to straighten. Okay? We don't want to shove the hips forward, but we do want the lower belly and your bum tight together. All right? Hold that together. Take a breath in. On your exhale, open your arm out to the side. See that your elbow and wrist are in the same line and your shoulder blade is pulling down your back. We call that shoulder pack. When all 5 fingers are together, we call that grip conformation. Inhale to your center, switch, confirm the grip, all 5 fingers, tear apart the ground. Notice if your bum and belly have come out of alignment. And then exhale, move as far as you can to the opposite side. And I've noticed that I'm turning my head towards the globe. Inhale through your center. Tear apart, so I'm going to ring out the mace and then exhale back to center. What you might notice here, if there's stiffness in your shoulders, is that your wrist is going to hike up or your wrist is going to turn back. It's going to somehow change from neutral and start to compensate for where you're lacking rotation. The other common misalignment here is your arms flying out of your body, okay? So we're trying to keep them knitted in. So as they're knitted in, you should feel the lower tip of your scapula, your shoulder blade coming down. So I'm gonna show from the back a few times, squeeze, tear apart the ground. Again, I have my number 11 feet. I have my glutes, my core, my lats on, okay? So this is called a front switch for your maces. All right, leveling up from here is back position. So typically if people have limited rotation here, I won't take them to a full switch. I'll take them to a half. So I'll say go as far as you can go, keep your shoulder pack, your elbow to your rib and wrist in line with the elbow. Angle the mace globe to your shoulder. Now inhale, bring it behind your back, line it with your spine, keep tearing apart the floor, lower belly in, exhale, pull it back to the side rib. Angle, inhale, shoulder cast back, tighten here, notice for where the ribs want to flare, and then exhale. What we don't want to have happen is this, you just drop the mace behind you, okay? So notice that I'm keeping the angle of my arm. Okay, notice I'm keeping the angle. I'm controlling it through the ranges of motion that I have. If you find that this is too much and you're working on the pattern, choke up higher on your mace. If you find that it's becoming easier, you choke down. So I'm gonna find that sweet spot where I have to use some effort, tighten through, exhale, pull, and then I'm gonna switch sides. Okay, so now I'm in this modified switch. Inhale, shoulder cast back, exhale through the center. Inhale, so we use something called power breathing. Each time I'm in an exercise with a steel mace, I'm gonna breathe out of my mouth, tighten my core, my glutes, my lats at the same time. Angle, tear apart the ground. Inhale, trace it back. Notice how my handle is aligned with my spine. Exhale, okay? So imagine we are unsheathing a weapon. If I want to graduate from there, I'll have my clients wring out the mace behind and practice keeping the ribs and glutes on, and then exhale, pass it. So this is a full mace switch. Okay, we did that in smaller chunks. Inhale, cast back, rip apart, exhale, pull it to center. Okay, don't underestimate the power of the basics here for realigning your whole body. Again, you can scale back and do just the front switches. You can scale back and just do the modified back position to modified side flag, or you can do full mace switches, all right? If you feel that this is progressing, you can take it to a full side flag. Pack your shoulders, elbow locks, tighten through your glutes or core, your lats, all 5 fingers to your mace, and then either front or back switch. Exhale, pull it down, punch the knuckles out. Good, radiate. Good, tighten your glutes, your core, your lats, make your switch, okay? But you don't have to go that far. Work on the basics. I really highly recommend all my clients to start in front of a mirror. In front of a mirror, please look at those lines. The more precise and proper you can be with your form, the faster you're going to see your progress, okay? Second one, I absolutely love. Okay, but this one's a little bit harder for most people to get the concept, is the swings, all right? So we're gonna do semicircle swings. I'm gonna shift a little bit back here. Let me move my heavier maces. I got my 10 today, and I got my 5 today, all right? So this takes a certain level of relaxation and control, but if you are really tight in your rotators, it's hard for you to reach behind your back and over your head. This will help loosen your joint if you do it correctly. Okay, so I said correctly. If you need help, hit me up. Okay, so here, elbow to your front rib. The basics of this swing, this is a forward and backward swing, is allowing the heavy part of the mace to pull my arm back and forward. I'm going to allow my eye gaze to track it. So just watch before you attempt it. Tear apart the ground. Okay, I'm going to cast it out. All 5 fingers are holding. I'm going to swing it back in line or above my shoulder. When it comes back, I'm going to squeeze my shoulder to the spine. I'm almost marrying the tail of my mace to my arm. Elbow stays locked, all my fingers stay together. So this is a semicircle swing. You don't have to go farther than the semicircle. Practice this. Most people are muscling through, and you can tell because the arm isn't getting pulled. You want to feel traction at your joint and all the 5 fingers of your grip. So this will help train the grip. It will help train your body. Okay, breathe in and out. Beautiful, okay? Now, if and only if this starts to become easy for you, you can graduate towards a full circle, okay? So this is where we're starting up in a shoulder pack. So I'm gonna choke up, pack the shoulder down, okay? Inhale, I launch it, swing. Exhale, I pack. Tighten my glutes, my core, my lats. Inhale, I circle back, I'm coming a little bit farther so I don't get cut off. Good, and then I reach it up. Okay, so let's try that again. Cast it, swing, catch it above, pull it down. I'm still trying to keep the bottom of my mace into my arm. So the movement here has to come from my wrist, my elbow, and pack into my shoulder. So this is advanced for most of us here. So stay with the first variation. Try 15 reps on each arm, 2 sets. Okay, and then again, if you advance from there, we go up, we go back, and we swing. Again, so this will start restoring mobility through your shoulders. There are inside and outsides, but they get more challenging. So for now, work on your form here. Beautiful. Catch safely, bring it back to center, shake it off. Woo! Okay, beautiful. Do both sides. Now, my third one, all right? So that's difficult. What I often like to do with the clients is get into some sort of reverse guard to horizontal overhead, okay? So a lot of people that I see, they're losing the ability to do an overhead reach. So you can do this from standing, you can do this from kneeling. For now, we're gonna do this from a kneeling lunge. So I'm gonna step forward with my right leg. I'm gonna keep my feet on railroad tracks, push the top of my left leg down. The more you can press into the top of this back foot, the more you can trigger this glute on. The weight gets distributed through the knee. If you need support, put support under your knee like a rolled up blanket or a towel. Pack your shoulders down. I have my left palm on the bottom of the mace. My right palm is in the reverse guard. Inhale here, tighten. On your exhale, press up to overhead. Okay, one step before that, inhale here, on the exhale, come to over grip, rip and crush your mace. Notice that my glutes and my core are still on. I'm not sinking to the depths of my hip flexor. I'm stabilizing my pelvis under the ribs and I'm cranking. Okay, inhale here, exhale, inhale here, exhale, knuckles up, shoulder blades down. Option for overhead press. Keep pushing the ground with both feet. Pull it back to your chest, pack it down. Crush, reach it up over your head, pull it back, come down. You got this. Inhale, exhale, crush, reach it up. That's it. Pull it down. Elbows locked, knuckles to the ceiling. We don't want the arms to be lackadaisy. We don't want one arm up to be down. We want to punch like we were blocking an overhead strike. Shift out of the posture. If you need to, shake it off. Beautiful. All right, test those out. See how they feel in your body. If you need extra help or you want a deep dive, October seminar registration is open and I'm happy to help. Bye for now.